Well, welcome to Numbers and Life. And in this particular video, I want to talk about one reason that actually made YouTube to stop paying me. Many years ago, in 2021, I started being, I was first a YouTube watcher. I was just a viewer. I used to watch things on YouTube. And in 2021, when I started working online, I had enough time to start exploring things. So sad that I was so old to start exploring things. I see people who are 21 years, 17 years of old age, they already having YouTube channels and all of that. I started exploring things, and I think I was in my 20-something. I was more than 21 years of age, 25 years of age. Oh, that's how bad it is. Yes, I was that old, in my late 20s. I would then realize that actually YouTube can pay you if you become a creator. Now, understanding that myself, I've been someone who used to want to be a news presenter or a soccer commentator at some point in time, for especially Isindebele and all of that, or Kasi type of a towel at some point in time. You know what I mean? And all those things didn't materialize, but it's fine. Whatever materialized. And I was actually speaking to my partner about it to say it's so, well, I'll get to that on another day. Yeah, I think I have ADHD. Can you see I'm running around? Okay, focus, Bongani, focus. I'm trying to focus. And my name is Bongani Masilela. Now, YouTube stopped paying me. How did they even pay me? I used to have, I still have now. I just revived it. I started a channel a few years ago, and I think one of the only channels, soccer channel, was Jessica M Sports, and I don't see that Jessica M Sports anymore. I must check up on them. And it is KTV on YouTube, not these other shows that mushroomed just now. And I got monetized within 1.5 months, like within so the market, it was not so saturated. You know, it was not so saturated. Within 1.5 months, I was already monetized. I used to speak about Kaizer Chiefs. I used to speak about different players. I used to speak about Skarango Bese, about Orlando Pirates, about Sundowns, about whatsoever. And of course, that's when I would see, oh, the more you speak about Kaizer Chiefs, the more actually people take you seriously. But things are changing. I know that in future, 12 years from now, you're going to have to speak about Sundowns because of what they created, or Pirates, if they maintain what they've started. Because I wish they can be able to maintain what they've started, just like how Kaizer Chiefs did over years, that generations and generations are still supporting Kaizer Chiefs. Now, this video is for both Numbers and Life and Soccer 360. Yes, I think so. And that's when I realized how spoiled Kaizer Chiefs supporters are. That's how I realized how spoiled Kaizer Chiefs supporters are. They are very spoiled. Kaizer Chiefs supporters are spoiled. And I know because, I mean, I grew up being a Kaizer Chiefs supporter. So I know they are very spoiled, these people. Super spoiled. I can't tell you. Super spoiled. And that's why I'm putting this video also on my channel. This is Soccer 360, so that they can be able to come here and Numbers and Life and really get to know about who am I. Now, at Soccer 360, at that time, this Soccer 360 was Ipola Media. Because I tried to make it Ipola TV. There was already Ipola TV. Then I said Ipola Media. And within a month, I was sorted. A month later, there was an envelope that would arrive from the United States, giving me an AdSense pin, put the pin. A month later, they told me that now you have this amount in your that you will be paid on the 21st of each month. You'll be paid after, since you are now monetized. Meaning when you are monetized, remember, is that there are videos that can play on your thing, there are adverts that can play on your videos. And since there are adverts that can play on your videos, you are able, those adverts, they pay you. And of course, YouTube takes a certain amount of money from them. So I started getting paid now and then every month because I was making videos. At that time, it was not as tough like today. At that time, I would just make about 3-4 videos per month, and I'd be paid an amount of about 2,000. I'm telling you, about 3 or 4 videos per month, and I'd be paid about 2,000 rands. And that if I had made more, just like Abunkuleo, because that's why I blame my ADHD. I should have just focused, because Abunkuleo, they stood there. They were at around 5,000. They were still a small channel at that time. They were big, but not as big as today, because now they're super big. Nkulego and Junior Kanyes and all of them. It is KTV. And I look around, I say, nah, man. I messed myself up, because they used to pay me. Every month I used to get money from YouTube. Until at some point in time I decided to be lazy. When I went to Vietnam, I stopped making content. I stopped following soccer. Also in Vietnam, the other thing is that things are censored. There are things that you can't find. If I want to find about Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs, Manchester United, you would find certain things that you would find. Things are too censored. They want you to watch Vietnamese content. They want you to watch. That's why Vietnam is so rich, because they make sure that the people who are in Vietnam, mostly, they are censored. They focus on what is in Vietnam. And they don't look around and try to do other things that are outside of that particular country. So people in Vietnam would mostly watch things that are in Vietnam, and there are only a few things that you'd watch from outside. I couldn't even access things such as Uzalo or whatever if I wanted to watch when I was in Vietnam. You know what I mean? I had to do this nonsense called VPNs and all those things. That was bad, man. Honestly. So they stopped paying me. They demonetized my account. They demonetized my account because I actually stopped posting because I became lazy. So one reason, and I'm getting emotional now. One reason that YouTube stopped paying me is because I became lazy. It's as simple as that. It's because I forgot my dreams. It's because whatever amount of money that I was getting in Vietnam, I became too content. I forgot that I have to be limitless. I have to be limitless and do whatever it takes. And be the guy who really stand by his words to say, what do you do, Bongani? I do whatever it takes. I stopped doing whatever it takes. I became one thing. I became that teacher who is teaching in Vietnam. I didn't become all the other things that I can be. A speaker, a commentator on football and all of that. I stopped. This channel could have been big long time ago. This one, the one I'm in. It used to be a Bongani Masela channel, but I realized, nah, man, how can I call a channel Bongani Masela when I'm not even known? Then I decided to say, actually, because I do math, let me call this numbers and life. But how long did it take me to? The issue of mentor and mentorship, good mentors, is quite important in this world. Some of us had to mentor ourselves, and we had to start seeing things by ourselves. And if somebody could have said to you, hey, Shifu, actually said some of these things are like this, we could be fine in our lives. We could be fine in our lives. I would always say that I never needed a mentor. I don't need a mentor, but I honestly see why it could have been good to have a mentor. The problem also is that most of the people who were closer to me, that were older than me, most of them I would be smarter than them. So maybe that's why I couldn't want to get a mentor, because how can I get a mentor and I'm smarter than that mentor? You know what I mean? And I think maybe that's one of the reasons smart people fail, especially smart people who come from the townships and all of that. Those who don't find systems, I think that's why they fail. It's because they don't have these mentors, they don't have these people who will guide them. And it's because they don't have to look at anyone to say, actually, here's someone who's really, really smarter than me. This person can help me. Where we come from, the Oltamukwenas were not there in Middleburg. Those were the smarter people that we knew about. Abo Oltamukwena and all of that. The other smarter people would be in taverns and bars and clubs. They didn't have a thing to come to us and say, can we mentor you? And that is the problem. That is the problem. Anyway, I don't know. I hope nobody's watching, but if you are, keep this to yourself. My name is Bongani Masela. I'm coming to you. Keep on keeping on.
Izandla ziyageza, oh